Bleacher Report just proposed a trade involving Mitchell Robinson, and I'm here to break it all down. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's been a minute. It's your boy, Dariel. Let's get right into today's video. So Bleacher Report proposed this trade between the Knicks and the Warriors, where the Warriors would receive Mitchell Robinson and the Knicks would receive Gary Payton II, Moses Moody, 2026 first-round pick, which is top 5 protected. Now, when I first saw that post, at first I was like, absolutely no way. There's no chance in hell. Mitchell Robinson is our defensive anchor. We rely on him for so much. Even though he doesn't really have an offensive game, he gets more of his points of like alley-oops, also of just like garbage plays off of rebounds and stuff like that. But I took a step back. And I thought to myself, the number one question with Mitchell Robinson is injuries. And it just seems like every season this guy is dealing with something. This season was his ankle. Previous seasons, it was also his ankle. It was also his knee. And it always looks like Mitchell Robinson is just always laboring up and down the court, even when he's healthy. But back to the proposed trade. We're looking at Gary Payton II and Moses Moody. Now, I think low-key, the pickup of the trade would actually be Moses Moody. So Moses Moody, for this past season, he averaged 8 points, 3 rebounds, basically 1 assist, shooting 46.2 from the field, converting 36% from three-point land, 78.5% from free throw. Now, the reason why I say Moses Moody might be low-key the best pickup in that trade, I didn't watch a lot of Golden State Warriors games this season. The few games that I did watch, Steph Curry obviously was the reason why I was watching. But there was one game in particular where I was watching. It was in the beginning of the season where Golden State was in Sacramento, and I believe that game went into overtime. I'm not sure if it went into 1 overtime or 2 overtime. But the Golden State Warriors, they were making a comeback. And a huge part of the reason was Moses Moody. Now, this season, this is not a Golden State Warriors YouTube channel, obviously. But since we're talking about Moses Moody, we're gonna stay here for 2 seconds. But in that game, Moses Moody was with the lineup of it was a more smaller lineup, and they brought the Golden State Warriors back in that game because I believe they were down by double digits. And Moses Moody, along with his other teammates, they brought the team back. And Moses Moody was playing extremely well, hitting threes, getting to the rack, just making smart basketball plays. And Steve Kerr, I feel like, really got a lot of the blame for this season for the Warriors' struggles. But one of the things that was in the forefront in the media with the Golden State Warriors specifically was Steve Kerr's coaching. And they were saying how Steve Kerr needed to rely on more of the younger guys, and Moses Moody, being one of those younger guys, he just wasn't getting the opportunity that he's been showing us that he deserves. Now, Moses Moody, he's listed at 6'6". He's a shooting guard. He has nice length. He is able to play on both ends of the floor. Now, Mitchell Robinson, man, like I said earlier in this video, the number one reason why I'm even entertaining this trade is because of Mitchell Robinson's injury history. He's just been plagued with injuries. This season, I'm looking at the game log. His last game was on December 8th, which makes it at the 21-game mark for this past season. And that's when the Mitchell Robinson news came out that he needed to get surgery and he was going to be out for an extended period of time. And we all know how that ended up. But in those 21 games, I'm looking at Mitchell Robinson's numbers. I mean, rebounds, he had, in those 21 games, his rebounds high was 16. That was on November 1st when they were playing Cleveland. As far as blocks for the season, his high was 6. And that game was on November 28th against the Charlotte Hornets. Again, Mitchell Robinson, defensive anchor. Of course, we're going to need someone to protect the paint. And on top of that, if we get everybody back healthy, if we get a healthy Mitchell Robinson with a healthy Jalen Brunson, a healthy OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Dante, obviously Julius Randle, like the sky is the limit for this team. Depending on the offseason moves, obviously there's that Mikal Bridges carrot that's dangling in front of us. We'll see what happens in this summer. In this video, I talked a lot about Moses Moody and Mitchell Robinson, but the other player that was listed in this proposed trade, we got to talk about Gary Payton II. Gary Payton II is a pesty defender. Obviously, his father, Gary Payton, known as the Glove. He's known as one of the better perimeter defenders of all time. And Gary Payton, from what we've seen, because this past season with the Golden State Warriors, he was, again, injury plagued. And that's one thing that's kind of knocking his career. But when we did see him play, super athletic, just pesty, always in your face, and he made his name on the defensive end. So in that proposed trade, we get 2 players who are able to contribute on both ends of the court, offensively and defensively. And Moses Moody, in my opinion, one of the reasons why I said he is definitely a diamond in the rough in this proposed trade is because of his length, because of his defensive prowess, because of his offensive prowess, which I still think the Warriors have not really tapped into. But if we give up Mitchell Robinson, obviously we're going to be giving up a huge defensive anchor that's going to be able to cover up the mistakes of a Randle, of a Brunson. Whenever their man beats them off the dribble, they rely on Mitchell Robinson to just be there and block the shots and also clean up the glass, get the rebounds. Takes a lot of pressure off of Julius Randle, so he won't have to be having to get all those hits from the big men. But going back to Mitchell Robinson, so his last game before the surgery was on December 8th. And then he did not return until March 27th, which was in Toronto, which in that game he had 8 points, he had 2 rebounds, and he had 2 blocks. So from the moment he returned on March 27th, Mitchell Robinson just looked very gimpy. He just looked like he just still was healing from that ankle surgery. You know, much respect to Mitchell Robinson for gutting it out and playing in the playoffs. But this is the thing with him, man. He's just injury plagued, and that's something that we just have to keep dealing with. With Mitchell Robinson, every season you need to expect for him to miss anywhere between 20 to 25 games. And that's a lot. And when Mitchell Robinson played in the playoffs, he played all the way up until game 1 against Indiana. And then after that, that's when he got shut down and he went under another surgery. And we're not going to see Mitchell Robinson until the next season coming up. Now, in that proposed trade, we also got to talk about that 2026 first round pick, which is top 5 protected. Now, when it says top 5 protected, are we going to give up that first round pick for Gary Payton II and Moses Moody? In my opinion, and if I'm talking to you as if I'm living in realistic land, realistic world, I wouldn't do it. I'm just entertaining this trade. I'm entertaining the pros and cons of this proposed trade. You get 2 players back who actually you get one out of the 2 players who you can depend on as far as health-wise, because Gary Payton, like I said earlier, he's been plagued with some injuries as of late. But as far as what the players are able to provide, you get 2 players in return who can provide you some defensive prowess, some offensive prowess. Where Mitchell Robinson, you're literally only asking him to do one thing on the defensive end. At some point, as Knicks fans, we're going to have to ask the question, is Mitchell Robinson reliable? And what he's shown us thus far in his career, I'm not sure we can say yes 100% confidently. There's always something with Mitchell Robinson. As much as us Knicks fans, as much as we love him and what he's able to bring to the team, if depending on the players that we get, if we're going to throw in that 2026 first round pick, which is top 5 protected, if we're going to throw that pick in, depending on the player that we get in return, we're really going to have to really look at it and really ask ourselves, are we giving up on somebody a little bit too soon? But guys, that's it for today's video. I want to say thank you for checking it out. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this proposed trade. Again, Mitchell Robinson going to the Warriors, and in return, the Knicks get Moses Moody and Gary Payton II. And the Knicks would also give up the first round pick in the 2026 draft, which is top 5 protected. But until next time, guys, I'll check you out in the next video. You know the drill. You know the vibes. Ty's Gitchen for president. Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs. The deuce is loose. Yo, Deuce, I see you in Brazil chilling out on the beach, bro. You deserve this. Salute. But until next time, guys, I'll check you on the next video. Peace.